Hello and welcome to Essex by the Sea. I'm Owen Ward, exploring the Essex coast, finding out about the amazing and interesting stories it has to offer. If you'd like to support me in making the podcast, then you can make a small donation on my Ko-fi page. The link to that is in the description, and thank you in advance. For this episode, I'm in Burnham-on-Crouch, where one of the county's lifeboat crews are based. Manned entirely by volunteers, the RNLI rely totally on donations to keep their operations running. And I am currently standing, for the first time ever actually, I've never been in a lifeboat before, but I am in one of the lifeboats here at Burnham. I'm not alone, I'm not just on my own trespassing. Steve Harris and Nathaniel Head are volunteers here at Burnham and join me as well.
Hello.
Hello. Steve, let's start with you, if I may. How busy is the station here at Burnham?
So we kind of average around 35 shouts a year. That's varied somewhat last couple of years during COVID due to the obvious reasons. And our kind of main season is from Easter around to October. That's when we're at our busiest, obviously when the weather's better.
I guess with all the yachts that are here in the yacht marina, it could get a bit busy for you, but obviously a lot of people know what they're doing and really hope they never have to call the RNLI.
Yeah, obviously there's a number of yacht clubs in the town. As you say, a lot of people know what they're doing. Unfortunately, sometimes things just go wrong, and that's when they need our help, and that's what we're here and why we volunteer. What
sort of things then do you get called out to from here? Is it predominantly sort of people getting stuck on the mud? Is it actually rescuing people that have fallen accidentally or on purpose into the water? What sort of shouts are sort of the most common for you?
So most common would either be broken down, kind of engine failure, problems with fuel. We also get a fair number that run aground out the river because there's basically the river extends. Even though the land ends, there's two quite large sandbanks that continue out the river, catch people out. But again, we get a variety of things. We get paddle boarders, people in the water, people that have fallen overboard, people stuck in the mud. You name it, you just never know what you're going to go out to.
I said we are on board. We are standing on the very familiar bright orange lifeboat. What type of vessel is this? Because this is one sort of that's quite open and exposed.
Yeah, so it's one of the RNLI's inshore lifeboats, the Atlantic 85. It's an 8-metre rib. It's got twin engines, maximum speed of around 35 knots, which is approximately 40 miles an hour.
Quite a speed that it can get up to then.
It is, especially when it's a bit bumpy.
Hold on tight, I can see there are handrails here. Nathaniel's alongside you. How long have you been volunteering for the RNLI, Nathaniel?
So I've been volunteering for 3 years and then joined the crew about a year ago after complications with COVID, prolonged that. And I joined a week after my 17th birthday, as soon as I could.
What was it then that prompted you and wanted you to volunteer for the RNLI?
Ever since I was young, I've always lived in Burnham and had seen them operate and had been down during the open days and had seen what they'd done. And it was always something that interested me, being able to go out and help and do something to support the local community and help on the water. And as soon as I could, I joined.
And presumably you find it really enjoyable doing what you do, otherwise you wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, it's good fun. It's nice to come down here and do boating stuff, but as well as the socials that also go on.
I was going to mention the socials because you do become a bit of a community, don't you, I suppose, in doing what you do. How many people sort of are involved?
We can get most of the crew out, really. So there's normally 20 people who will come to various events we hold. So as well as the open days, we've also have a crew dinner at Christmas to get us all together, and it's nice to be with everyone and just it's friendly, really friendly.
That's what I've got from just speaking to you before we started recording, actually, both of you. It does seem a very social sort of experience, as well as the serious side, Steve. You've been volunteering for a little bit longer, but not for very long, and you were saying that actually you didn't have any boating experience before.
Yeah, so basically I'm not originally from Burnham. I moved down here because my wife's from Burnham. Come from Basildon, so kind of away from friends and things. So I saw just over 6 years ago a Facebook event for Recruitment Day, and because I didn't really have any hobbies or anything, I thought I'd come down and see what it was all about. And I kind of signed up, and here we are 6 years later. I'm now a helm on both boats from no boating experience.
That must involve a lot of training, and that doesn't happen locally. Well, some of it does, but actually the RNLI are very good at training you up, I see, and giving you the skills that you need to man and run the operations. Yeah,
so most of the training we do on station and in the local area. The helms on the station kind of take week-to-week training. But I've been down to Poole, the RNLI College, which is a specialist training centre, about 6 times now on various different courses, from kind of crew seamanship courses to navigation and radar courses, first aid courses, boat handling, command courses for to give you the skills to be a helm and manage the boat and any situations that you may come into on a rescue.
And do you sort of progress up the different classes of boat? Is this the biggest boat you've got?
Yes, so this is the bigger of our 2 boats. We also have a D class, which is a smaller inshore inflatable boat, used generally for the kind of more shallow rescues, or obviously if we need more resources than one boat can take.
And we're actually you can hear the raindrops on the roof, because we're inside the boathouse, and I realised that we're actually on the water here. This isn't a boathouse on land that you perhaps might typically see on your postcards or your Christmas cards that you see for sale, raising funds for the RNLI. We're actually on the water.
Yeah, so here at Burnham we've got 2 floating boathouses based in the marina, and obviously when the pager goes and we're needed, we get kitted up, kind of get down the pontoons as quickly as we can, just literally lower the boats down into the water and off we go.
How long does it take from that pager going off to you being out onto the water then?
If the need requires, we can literally be out on the water within 4 or 5 minutes of the pager going off.
That's pretty impressive, because it's quite a walk from the sort of main base building that you've got up on land, and I guess obviously you've got to get from wherever you happen to be. I mean, presumably the pager can go off at any point. What happens if you're at work or in the middle of dinner?
Well, prior to COVID, I worked out of the town, so I would be unavailable. Since COVID, I've been working from home. My employer is really supportive, and if the pager goes, generally they're quite happy for me to attend, depending on what's going on at work. Last year I did actually run out of my annual appraisal with my boss, because the pager went out, and that's the first time he's ever had anyone kind of get up and run out on him while performing an employee's appraisal.
I guess because it can go off, and I mean, it could happen at any time then, really.
Yeah, you never know. It could go off now, for all we know.
If it were to go off now, what would then happen? You run somehow or drive to the boathouse. What happens next?
Yeah, so generally, if I'm at home and the pager goes off, I'll jump on my bike, cycle down to the station. Crew obviously gather. You have to live within a kind of certain distance, time frame journey to the station, and we gather depending on what the information is from the Coast Guard as to, will determine how quickly we respond. If it's a launch, then it's literally first in the station, get kitted, go. If it's another kind of page, then we'll work off our rotor board so that everyone gets a fair crack of getting out on a shout, and pick the crew. Everyone gets kitted up, say come down to the boat sheds. We have shore crew that prepare the boats for us so that they're ready by the time we've got kitted up and come down. It's literally just jump on the boat and off we go.
And as we entered the boathouse here, the boat was actually raised up quite high out of the water, but you lowered it very, very cleverly down into the water, and we're sitting on the water now. So if the pages went off, we're already halfway there.
Yeah. That's part of the job already done.
And how many do you have on if this was a shout and you were heading out? Obviously, you'd leave me behind. But how many crew members would be on this vessel?
So minimum crewing on both our boats is 3. So we can go with 3. Any less, obviously, we can't go, and we'd have to inform the Coast Guard and make other kind of plans. But yeah, minimum 3, and both boats are a maximum of 4 crew.
Touched upon it with Nathaniel in terms of what Nathaniel got out of volunteering. What do you personally get out of volunteering with the RNLI? So
it's the kind of having a purpose. It's the community thing. It's a great feeling when you have rescued someone, even quite a minor rescue, like a breakdown or something. But just seeing their reaction when you arrive, they so thankful and apologetic, and we always say that's what we're here for. You don't need to apologise, and it's like having an extended family as well, because we are all close. Sometimes it's not very nice out there. Our lives are literally in each other's hands. So it's just get a good feeling out of it generally. Close bonds must be formed when you're in those sorts of situations, I can imagine. Nathaniel, what's the best bit about volunteering for you, and are you perhaps aspiring to one day be leading the teams out on these shouts?
Yeah, I'd like to progress. I'd like to keep going with this as long as I'm able to, and complete my crew training, and then move on to eventually, hopefully, helm both boats like Steve does. There's long-term goals, and as long as I can do it, I will keep going with it. Whilst we're here, talk me through on this vessel then, because I'm standing next to what looks like, to someone who stays predominantly on land, a steering wheel, but I'm sure it's not probably called that. Yeah, no, it is. It's we generally just call it the wheel, but that's the helm seat, not necessarily the helm of the boat. That term is basically the person in command, but whoever sat at the helm, the driver, will sit there. And there's various screens and displays, obviously various buttons as well, but sort of what would be on these screens? On the left-hand screen will be, we call it a rolling road, so when we plot a route into our electronic navigation, that will be a kind of guide for whoever sat on the helm. And then on the right-hand one, we generally have the depth, so it has a depth sounder on the boat. Obviously, as said, there's quite a lot of shallows and sandbanks and things, so it's quite important that we don't run aground ourselves. That probably isn't a good look, is it? No. And then you're sitting on the seats behind, and there's a whole variety of different instruments here, something that looks like a radio as well. What would the people sitting in these seats be doing normally? So these are generally our kind of navigation seats. So one side will be an electronic chart where we would plumb in the route and make sure the boat's on course. And then the other side is our radar. Again, in low visibility, that's obviously really important to avoid kind of collisions and things like that. And conditions can change quite quickly, can't they, when you're out in the water? I mean, even just walking down here, we got soaked coming to the boathouse because there was a passing shower. Visibility reduced dramatically. I couldn't even see over to Wallasey Island. So it can change very quickly, can't it? Yes, it can, and obviously with the radar we can go out in pitch black in the middle of the night, and we use that to safely navigate. Similarly, in kind of fog where you literally cannot see, you're totally reliant on the kit on the boat. Well, thank you very much for showing me around and allow me to board the lifeboat, which is swaying slightly as I just move and turn around. So I'll stop doing that to stop the boat rocking and say thank you very much to both of you for joining me here on Essex by the Sea. You're very welcome. No worries. Thank you very much. Don't forget, Essex by the Sea is now available on TikTok, so if you use that app, go and follow it on there. Also follow Essex by the Sea on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. So until next time, thanks very much for listening.